Hello, Facebook. It is your friendly executive cat herder, Marissa Friedman. It is midweek after Memorial Day. Weirdest Memorial Day ever, right? So, one of the things that I've been really thinking about in the spirit of collaboration and partnership is really thinking about what do people need right now? And most people are still trying to figure out, like, okay, how am I navigating? And I thought, okay, how can I help? And so I leaned on someone that has a really great brain, not only for sales, but someone that I've met over the past couple months that's just like really top performer. And we thought about like what are things that business owners need? So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on to the feed right now so that you guys can kind of get an opportunity to see who I'm talking about. And I think one of the things that I want to welcome Sarah to you. Hi, Sarah. So Sarah and I actually met for the first time like a week ago, maybe, I want to say. We've been on the phone.
It feels like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it feels like 700 years ago. But and one of the things that we're working with is we're working with a ton of solopreneurs and business owners, brick and mortar business owners who are really trying to figure out like, where do I need to focus? All of a sudden, all of these people who've never considered digital or online marketing are trying to figure out what they need to do. So everything from how much did I spend to like what social media should I use? Like what's a lead magnet, right, Sarah? So these are all the questions. What are the top questions? I'm trying to think. There's so many.
I think it's just like, how do they get people to reach them? How do they connect? How do they actually make use of all these virtual appearances? And there's like a big disconnect of like showing up and how are you growing your following?
Definitely. And I think one of the things that we identified was like, hey, so I have a tool that allows people to get a business report card. And when I was showing Sarah this tool, she was like, this is awesome. And her part was to say, all right, if we're going to show people like how the internet is ranking them, we have to be able to tell them what to do next, right? We can't just give you a thing and say, hey, you're failing, good luck. So what we thought was, why don't we create like a strategy session where ahead of time people can schedule time with us and they fill out a form, and that form allows us to pull some very specific reporting to a business. And this works for any type of business, right, Sarah?
Absolutely.
So whether you have a restaurant or a retail establishment or you're a coach or you're online only, you have a website and social media, we're going to be able to put together a report for you. And in this report, my goal would be to identify marketing opportunities for you. And Sarah has a knack for not only kind of marketing, but that sales enablement process. So, like, of all the things you have right now, what's sellable? And actually, we were chatting yesterday about a couple of strategies that she had in the restaurant space, right, Sarah? So, what, kind of share some insight and kind of takeaways that you've had in the past couple of weeks as you've been learning and evolving your business model as well.
So I think the biggest thing is that restaurants don't have a way of letting people know that they are open or if they are closed or open to what capacity. Do they have takeout? Do they have limited menu offerings? So we have some like really killer strategies to not only drive business to your restaurant right now, but to actually streamline your process so that your profit margins are still where they should be. There's no reason why anyone should be struggling to keep their staff on because there's resources to help right now. So we definitely want to, and it's not just restaurants. Oh my gosh, I don't care if you have a daycare or a preschool or you are, a teacher's aide and you're teaching small kids how to read. Like people need access to you and they need to know how they can engage with you and what services you have available.
Definitely. I think, especially what I'm noticing is Sarah kind of brought me into a world of online shopping and just different ways that, like, with farmers markets or retailers or people that maybe can't have people coming into the business. Well, if you typically, right, if you go on a Facebook Live and you're the business owner and you're trying to sell something, there's that whole like sales process, right? So Sarah's got some streamlined strategies around that. She also has an ability to kind of play chess while everybody else is playing checkers and look at something strategically and say, how do I match this up? Who are the people that are complementary and not competitive? So we put our brains together and we said, cool, what we're going to do is give people a business report card and we're going to give them 15 minutes of just listening to what they need. and then figuring out what's existing in the market that can help them. And then also, the top question I get is, what type of budget should I be spending for my ads? Or should I be doing, this type of advertising? Should I do LinkedIn? Should I do Facebook? Should I do Instagram? So ideally, what we're trying to create is not just a community on shared values, but also giving people access to resources and tools, and then actually kind of steering you in the right direction, because there's a lot of bad, I don't want to say bad, that's not a great way to phrase it, but there's just a lot of terrible advice going on that's based on stuff that was working 6 months ago. And unfortunately, none of that stuff is working right now. And if you're not on YouTube, or you're not on, if you're not on any type of live streaming platform right now, even this tool for us is new. But we've gotten really good at, I think in 60 days, we've learned 15 different online live streaming platforms and been able to service clients in that area. So it's not about getting stuck in what you've always done. It is about like breaking it down. And Sarah always says there's like ingredients and then there's a recipe, right? And they kind of go together. And I like to think that with the strategy session and not only the report card, you're going to see like, what's wrong with your website? Do you need to adjust it to be more mobile friendly? Do you have a phone number? Because right now we actually see that people are making phone calls. So when they have a question, they want to make a phone call. Or is your phone number on Yelp different than the one on Facebook, different than the one on Instagram, different than the one on Google, different on the one on LinkedIn, right? So all of that stuff is going to be standardized. Don't you think that's confusing for customers too, Sarah? They don't know which restaurants are open right now. They're like, wait, some are open, some aren't. Like, it's confusing to consumers, right? They're just trying to figure it out.
I think anyone that is staying at home with their kids right now is like super over trying to please their 3-year-old. Like they ate chicken McNuggets every day for 6 months, and all of a sudden they're like, I don't like chicken McNuggets. Okay, well, what are we having for dinner? I think the usual suspects are probably, how many days in quarantine are we in?
I stopped counting.
Yeah, so if you eat the same 9 recipes over and over, you probably need some fresh perspective, or you need something other than, I don't know, my kids are eating like pizza rolls and other frozen garbage that I don't approve of. But I would love to have like a clean menu to choose from of stuff that I like, stuff that they would like. If it was delivered, if they had like a 15-minute turnaround that I could just say, husband, I just put in the order, hustle down there and get it and come back before these kids kill each other. That would be so awesome. And I know there's so many families in the exact same position. And even if we didn't have kids, there's times where I just, want something different. It's like, I feel like Thai food. I don't even know where to get Thai food right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so frustrated because even when I'm trying to figure out what's open or what's not, like Yelp says one thing, but then their Facebook page says this, and then I'm DMing them on Instagram, and it's this whole cluster of
Nobody has time for that. I was hungry 40 minutes ago.
Right. Well, and I also think too, as a business owner, you have to be super narrow with your time right now. Like I've kind of chunked out my day. Like if you looked at a typical 8-hour work day, right? You were going into an office and you had an hour for lunch. It's really 7 hours of work. Right now, that 7 hours of work is impossible. I don't have an hour to myself at all. So I've broken down those hours into 20-minute increments. So now instead of 7 hours in a day, I have 21 increments of time. And so everything that we try to teach or give people to do is very chunked down so that you can actually like break it down in 20 minutes, right? Like that's super important. I mean, first of all, as women, I don't know how many of you out there are kind of home. You're like wife, your mom, you're trying to run a company, and also people want to eat, right? So you're trying to figure out like, how do I do all of this and stay focused? At the same time, business is still running. You still have to, if you have a store and you're not thinking about e-commerce and online, you're missing out. That's just the way it is right now. You are missing the mark. And there's ways that you can get into that conversation. And I kind of look at it this way. For those of you that can remember going out to a club, it's been a long time for me. But I remember taking my niece to Vegas and, just the lines to get into these really big clubs, right? This is like 6 months ago. And it's always good to know like the bouncer, right? But then once you get into the nightclub, it's even better to know the bartender. But if you're really on track and you know the owner, you totally get hooked up. And so that's kind of how I look at like sales and marketing. there's like a front of the line strategy for everything. And our goal is to get you to that front of the line and then kind of show you how you can kind of crawl, walk, run, or fly towards that direction. So again, if you guys are interested, you can go ahead and text Conquer to 44222. You can comment on this post. And then I also put Sarah's information up here as well, so you can connect with her. She's got some really brilliant sales strategies and tactics and really solid sales enablement resource. She's also super connected. It's pretty banana sandwich. And then you guys know me. So, I mean, there's no point. And also, I just appreciate everyone kind of hanging out with us today. We don't want to talk forever because we know that you have a ton of time. And I hate talking at people. Right, Sarah? I'm like,
absolutely. We'd rather answer questions.
Yeah. So, and our hope is to do another one of these where we can get some people to actually come up. And looks like JR is on there. Hey, what's up, JR? Nice to see you. Thank you. JR runs NAV Productions. Brilliant, amazing videographers that are based here. They worked actually in the travel space, Sarah, pretty heavily. So they did a lot of really beautiful resorts like in Cabo, Mexico, and then as well here. So they do some really beautiful stuff. And I'm sure their business has been impacted as well. So definitely a great opportunity for anybody. And thanks so much, everybody, for giving us your time today. Any final words, Miss Sarah?
No, I'm looking forward to some strategies. We've already had a couple people sign up for their 15-minute call, and we just want to go over, like, what do you currently have? Where are the missing pieces that are really easy for us to fix without you spending a ton of money? And then giving you a plan for, like, what's the next step? Okay, we did the baby stuff. What's the next step? So don't be shy. You're not going to ever have our undivided attention in these kind of increments. If it wasn't quarantine, we wouldn't be able to do this.
Yeah, and I actually just want to update. We've had 5 people opt into the spots. So I have 75 business report cards. Actually, now I only have 70. So we have 70 spots left. We have less than a week where we have this period of time. And I'm pretty pumped, actually, that people are taking action. So again, if this is something that you want to take advantage of, just text Conquer to 44222. I don't over email anybody. I don't spam anybody. I don't sell your email to anybody. You're not going to get 20 emails a day from me. That's not my jam. You probably get like an email a week, maybe a little bit more, but you're never going to get 25 emails from me in a day. And I want to thank you guys so much for your time. Have a good day, everybody. Bye. Again, bye.